everybody, welcome back to another episode of Book and Lunch Day. So today we'll be using the ingredient pork belly. I found the pork belly. I got the pork belly at Costco. So recently, I don't know if they just had it or they've been having it for a long time. I never seen it because I don't know why. But no, Costco. I found that at Costco they have a big old box of pork belly. So this is what I do when I got home, because it's difficult to cook the entire box of it. So I will wrap it in. And so every time when I need to cook it, I can just remove a small package of it. So that way it's easier to handle and I'm not wasting food. So I'll freeze it in the fridge. Alright, so we'll be working with our pork belly today. And it has about 3 layers. It's not a whole lot because most of the pork belly are just fat. So we will be reducing it first. So that's why you actually don't want to cut it in super big chunk. Super small chunks. If you cut it in super small chunks, once we reduce the fat, it's going to reduce to nothing. So I'm gonna cut it in bigger pieces. And the ingredient today will be having our regular same old soy sauce, honey, and minced garlic and green onion. The minced garlic I have already minced it, and the green onion I chopped it already, and a little bit of sesame. The sauce, that's the part that I want to focus on today, the sauce. So the sauce, you don't only have to use it on pork belly. You can really use it on any protein you like, especially chicken. I feel like chicken is a really good choice if you want to use it on. If you don't like pork, you want to use it on other protein, chicken is a good choice. Now, but if you're using chicken, you might want to add a little bit of oil to your pan. But today we're using pork belly. It already have a lot of fat, so don't add any oil to it, okay? Alright, so now you just add it in one at a time. You do want to separate them, just because you want to make sure the surface is receiving the heat properly. Now we don't want the heat to be too high. Probably just start off with medium heat just so we can get the temperature up. But you don't want to burn it. You just kind of want to get the grease out. And it will shrink. The pork belly will shrink. Let me go wash my hands real quick while that's cooking. Alrighty. So, this is cooking right now. We just want to make sure that it's I want to go for like a little crispy kind of, so that you don't want to have your heat up, turn the heat on really fast. It's going to burn instead of making it crispy. You want to make sure you got all the fat and all the liquid out to make it crispy. It's going to take a little bit of time, so want to be patient. And if you're at home, usually when I'm cooking something like this, I will put it on the side stove and I'll make like veggies or the side dishes while this is cooking on the side, because it will take a little bit of time. Like chop your onions and stuff while you're at it. And if you don't like to freeze, what you can do is you can take a paper towel, a clean paper towel. Once, kind of like when you're making bacon, at least that's what I do when I'm making bacon. I will, soak up the extra grease, or I will pour it out. So that way it's not too greasy. And I mean, you can always use the excess fat for cooking and stuff like that. That's fine. So we want to be golden brown both sides. I am actually going to grab a paper towel and kind of soak up the fat, the grease from the oil. And notice I haven't added any oil or seasoning to it. 2 reasons. I tend not to, unless I'm doing like barbecue, I tend not to season or marinate the pork belly, simply because you are going to cook it for a little bit longer in the pan. Like to release all the fat. So during that time, it's very easy to burn the sauce that's covering the pork belly. So usually we cook it first without seasoning it, so we don't burn it. There's a lot of fat. Very carefully. I'm saving this so I can cook my veggie later. But if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't want to eat the lard, you can always just use a clean paper towel and soak up the fat. Oh, I have lost one. It's okay. All right, I'll pick it up in a little bit. All right. Also, I tend not to let my cats eat this. I know, like I mentioned before, sometimes I will feed my cat like beef and chicken if I'm cooking it. But these, I actually won't eat it to my cats just because it's so high in fat. It might be hard for them to digest. So I will have to pick that piece up, so they don't get to it. Alright, so I'm going to slowly pan fry it, and we're getting there. It's almost golden brown. So while we are at it, we do want to mix our sauce, which is really, really simple. Soy sauce. And honey. And what I'm going to do is, this is minced garlic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add about half to the sauce. And if you want to make it spicy, you can actually add a little bit of sriracha sauce to it to make it spicy, so it can be like a spicy honey glazed, like spicy honey glazed sauce, which sounds delicious. but you just want to mix it up well. The reason why I'm not adding it directly in and instead adding it into a bowl is because honey is really difficult to, you do want it to you know, separate so it cooks correctly. So otherwise it's not sticking in the same place in the pan. So you want to mix it well with the soy sauce. I'm actually also going to, because we're using pork, I personally like to add a little bit of rice wine to it. Just because no, the pork has a little bit of porky smell that some people doesn't like, but that's optional. Now returning to this. Ooh, perfect. So we have it both sides golden brown and fully cooked. Just have a lot of grease left. It's like making bacon, but not bacon. I personally like to do it this way just because, you know, otherwise the entire thing is going to be really greasy and you'll be eating fat, not sauce. And that's not good. Alright, so both sides is nice and golden brown. What I like to do at this point, I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. Turn up the heat a little bit. Just going to run it through with rice wine first. So because on the bottom of my pan it's going to have all that little bit from the pork belly, so I want to make sure it's, you know, we're getting all that little bit. And also I don't want to burn the soy sauce. And if you don't want to use rice wine, you can always use sake, or if you want to do, what you want to do is you can also do a little bit of water before you add in the soy sauce, so your sauce will burn directly in the pan. Reduce the heat so the soy sauce doesn't burn. Oh, it smells so good. Reduce it. It's fairly straightforward. Just kind of want to let it reduce the soy sauce a little bit more. Okay, the reason why we want to add in the garlic separately is because garlic cooks really fast, especially when we minced it, and that's going to and therefore the aroma of the garlic is going to go away really, really fast, right? So that's something that we want to keep. So therefore adding in your garlic later will give that extra punch of garlic taste to your dish. So I'm going to add in the rest of the garlic, and then however much green onion you want to add. I chop a lot just because I'm like, might as well, since I'm going to heat up, might as well. And then turn off the flame off, and then add in your sesame. Okay, and just give it a quick toss and you're all set. And we can save these for my next dish. When I have guests over, when I'm cooking like a large amount like I was doing last weekend, I was packing, I was food prepping. This is a perfect dish if you want to meal prep ahead of time, because it's really flavorful. You can use the excess grease if you like to make other dishes, so they are flavorful as well. And it doesn't really go bad in a bento box. In the lockup box, I will have some rice on top of it. Put on top of some rice, so the rice is really nice and flavored. So that's what I'm gonna do today for my lunch. I cooked some rice, and the ratio of my rice is super duper easy. It has always been and always will be just 1 to 1. 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water. You don't want to add extra to your rice unless it's brown rice. If it's brown rice, it's 1 cup of 1.5 to 1. So that way the rice you make is always going to be delicious. The white rice is just 1 to 1. Don't want to add too much water to your white rice. Otherwise, it's going to be too much water. You can pour it on top. I'm probably only going to do half. It's not too greasy. And this is the kind of food that you really need to have some like starch, like rice, especially rice, to go with it, just because, you know, it's going to be on the little salty side. But it smells really good. It's crispy because, you know, we cook it for so long that it's nice and golden brown on both sides, but it's not super fat. It's not super fatty that, you know, when you taste it, you're not only eating like the fat, the grease from the pork belly, which happen a lot when we are cooking pork bellies because it's so high in fat. But remember, we reduce a whole bowl of the fat, so therefore it's not greasy. You can really taste the soy sauce instead of tasting the fat. It's really good. Give it a try. I know Costco have it now, so I know how much people love Costco. And if you don't go to Costco, that's fine. There's other places that you can find pork belly. It's really nice that they already chop it in pieces for you, so you don't have to do as much cutting. You only really need to, you know, I'm probably going to make a little extra vegetable, so my lunch is set. It's that easy. Alright, so I will see you guys next time, and don't forget to contact your local branch. We'll be having a lot of we'll be having our spring reading starting next week, and a lot of more events coming up during April. So if you have any questions, contact your local branch, and we'll see you next week. Bye guys!